Assalamu alaikum, brother. The best among you are those who have the best manners and character, taught Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. But question is, how do we embody the best character? In today's topic, we will discuss the 7 types of people that you should avoid. Be aware, you yourself may show signs of these qualities without knowing, so make sure to watch until the end. I promise you. By the end of this discussion, you'll see the world and perhaps yourself in a whole new light. So do not skip. Do not weak. Number 1. Arrogant. Have you ever met someone who always seems to drag about what they've done, put others down, and won't listen to any opinion but their own? That's a classic sign of arrogance in Islam. Arrogance is considered a serious flaw, something that aliens a person with Iblis shaitan, rather than with righteousness. In fact, the first act of arrogance in Islamic history is attributed to Iblis. When Allah commanded him to bow Adam, he refused, claiming superiority because he was made of fire and Adam from clay. This moment is captured in Quran, and when we said to the angels, prostrate to Adam, and they prostrate except for Iblis, he refused and was arrogant and became of the disbelievers. Quran chapter 2 verses 34. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, warned against such behavior, saying, no one who has an atom's weight of arrogance in his heart will enter paradise. But what about taking pride in your appearance? Is that arrogant? Not necessarily. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, reassured us that Allah is beautiful and loves beauty. Arrogance rather is about rejecting the truth and looking down on people. It's a barriers that keep us from seeing our own faults. Number 2. Selfish mindset. We often come across people who always seem to put themselves as first. This behavior is what we call selfishness. Imagine you're walking down the street and see any elderly person struggling with their shopping bags. What would you do? Would you stop to help? Or would you just keep walking now? Think about this. Would your happiness decrease if you shared some of what you have? This isn't just about material things. It's also about giving your time, talent, or energy. Can you spare a moment to help a friend, your parents, or even a stranger in need? Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us a vital lesson about selflessness. He said, none of you will believe until you love for your brother what you for yourself. It's easy to fall into a me-first mindset, thinking only about our own well-being, but such an attitude goes against the spirit of Islam. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, also warned he is not a believer who eats his fill, whilst his neighbor beside him goes hungry. This hadith emphasized the importance of being aware of and responsive to needs of those around. True faith refines our character in numerous ways. A believer guided by the moral values of Islam will strive to be considerate, trustworthy, and tolerant. Number 3. The hater. Hatred occurs when individuals allow resentment and ill will to take root in their hearts. While we might not have control over our initial thoughts, we do have the power to choose which ones to pursue. The Quran addressed this issue directly in Surah Al-Hujurat. O you who have believed, let not a people ridicule or hate another people, perhaps they may be better than them. Quran chapter 49 verses 11. This verse reminds us that all humans are equal in the sight of Allah, created from the same parents, Adam and Hawa Eve, and that superiority is only through piety and good action. However, Islam does encourage believers to detest evil qualities like disbelief, hypocrisy, falsehoods. It's important to distinguish between hating the sin and sinner. Similar to a doctor who doesn't hate his patients but the disease they suffer from, we should focus on hating the negative qualities, not the individual who exhibit them. Hatred is a powerful emotion that can overwhelm our hearts and minds. It often arises from misunderstandings or difference in beliefs. Islam urges us to promote unity and understanding, recognizing that we're all capable of feeling negative emotions. We're encouraged to control these feelings and show patience and empathy in situations where you encounter toxic behavior, animosity even from family members. It's crucial to establish boundaries and interact with kindness, praying for their guidance. Remember, the most fruitful trees often endure the hardest strikes. In face of hatred, we call to be patient, forgiving, and constantly seeking the path of righteousness. Number 4, the gossiper. Gossip is about sharing unverified or private information about others, sometimes with little regard for the truth or the harm it might cause. Gossip spreads quickly, damaging reputations and truth along the way. The Quran instructs us, do not follow that of which you have no knowledge. Indeed, the hearing, the sight, and the heart about all those will be questioned. Quran chapter 17 verses 36. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, offered clear guidance on gossip and backbiting. He defined backbiting as mentioning something about a person that they would dislike. When asked if it still counts as backbiting if the statement is true, the Prophet clarified that it is indeed backbiting, and if the statement is false, it's slander. What if you find yourself involved in gossip without realizing it? The key is mindfulness. Be aware that Allah is watching and knowing. Speak positively or choose silence. Number 5. The lifelong complainer. A personality type. We all encounter the chronic complainer. They're the ones who seem to find fault in almost everything, whether it's the weather, their job or event, the food at a popular restaurant. A husband complains about his wife, and the wife of the husband and kids. Kids complain about their parents not understanding them and not spending time with them, while parents complain that the kids do not do their homework and have no respect. An employer complains about his employees while the employees complain their employer. Everybody is complaining about everybody. There is one simple person. They lack contentment in life and are constantly dissatisfied. You should always be content with whatever Allah has given you. The Prophet, peace be upon him, used to say, "O Allah is ask you contentment in what you decree." This is intention for being always prepared to accept wholeheartedly whatever Allah send your way. What do you get from complaining? Number 6. The heartless. In Islam, kindness and empathy are not just recommended, they are central to the faith. Our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, exemplified these virtues, showing compassion even to his enemies. As followers of such a compassionate leader, it's our duty to emulate these qualities. Being humble and good listener, even in disagreements, is a hallmark of a true Muslim. Unfortunately, in today's world, heartlessness is not uncommon, often seen even towards one's own parents. Allah advised against harshness, stating, "So by mercy from Allah, O Muhammad, you were lenient with them, and if you had been rude in speech and harsh in heart, this would have disbanded from about you." Quran chapter 3 verses 159. Islam teaches that good actions are evidence of true faith. The Quran frequently mentions that true Muslims are those who believe and do good deeds. Both the Quran and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Number 7. The deceiver. Dishonesty and manipulation are traits far removed from the character of a decent individual. Consider this scenario. You've been working tirelessly on a project, investing late nights and great effort. Then a colleague presents your idea as their own without any acknowledgement of your contributed. The sting of betrayal, you feel, is where deceivers find their success, using others for their own advantage. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him,